Meanwhile, look at the federal government. One of the few things the federal government is supposed to do under the Constitution is issue the currency and credit. They don't do that. Private banks do. And is protect our borders. They don't do that. Illegal immigration costs the U.S. $113 billion a year, study finds. This out of Fox News. Folks, it's far worse than that. We'll be going over that more later. Also, there is another report today here out of the Associated Press that feds to file lawsuit over Arizona immigration law. And, you know, this was a rumor a month ago, and now it's not a rumor. And it was a rumor 2 weeks ago that Obama's talking about signing an executive order to legalize illegals, and now White House is starting to put out some releases saying, well, we're looking at an executive order to basically order ICE to leave people alone inside the U.S., which is another act of treason. There's no other country in the world that just has completely open borders. But feds to file a lawsuit over Arizona immigration law. The USS Department is filing a lawsuit challenging the constitutionality of Arizona's new law targeting illegal immigrants, setting the stage for a clash between the federal government and state over the nation's toughest immigration crackdown. Amazing. Also, the San Francisco Chronicle. This is the San Francisco Chronicle. This is Yobi Benjamin wrote this. And we have the clips. We don't have time to play it. Fox, CNN, you name it. It's all up on InfoWars and Prison Planet if you want to go watch the full clips. With Anderson Cooper and other CNN hosts saying, yes, there's a form of martial law in the Gulf. And yes, there's no First Amendment. And yes, it's a felony. I mean, look at this headline. BP and Coast Guard bans all media access to spill. This happened Monday. Boom cleanup sites and workers. Under threat of federal felony, National Incident Commander Thad Allen has banned all media access to boom operation sites and cleanup sites. Now, before they even had this, quote, ban, and this is a order by the Coast Guard, by an admiral. This is martial law. Allen's orders effectively bans all media, print, television, radio, internet, bloggers. And it just goes on. And then here's CNN's Anderson Cooper reveals full media restrictions and access by Coast Guard. And that video, they tell you the First Amendment is now dead. They are just throwing this in our face here. And now tar balls are hitting Texas as of yesterday. And these are gigantic, huge tar balls. Because that oil comes out of the ground 5,000 feet under. It's freezing cold down there. And it congeals. And some people are saying, well, tar balls are always hitting the Texas coast. I don't know. The oil industry's been pretty clean the last decade. I go down to the beach a lot. Galveston, Port Aransas, you name it. You rarely see tar balls. And these tar balls are gigantic. And it probably did come from the oil spill, but who knows. But don't worry. Tony Blair, the globalist who killed Magna Carta and the British rights, Tony Blair has been tapped to take over chairman of crisis hit BP. Don't worry, Tony Blair to the rescue. And then we have a detailed article up on prisonplanet.com by Paul Watson. Despite rumors, officials insist no Gulf evacuation plan yet. But what happens when 150-plus million gallons gets blown in by the hurricanes? And we do have a CFR member in the Washington Post saying he believes 20 million will be evacuated. And so very, very serious situation on that front. And then separately, USA Today expect lots of government layoffs at state, local level, but not federal. Their pay's going up and their numbers are growing. And the police are becoming federalized everywhere. Here's CNBC. Dow repeats Great Depression pattern. Here is another one. With U.S. trapped in depression, this really is starting to feel like 1932. London Telegraph. So the establishment has engineered this depression, but now they're admitting that it's a depression and offering you their solutions. Folks, you cannot depend on government to protect yourself. With looming war with Iran that could lead to World War III, with the Gulf oil coming in, with all of this happening, with the depression we're in, with almost everyone I know being laid off or having their pay cut, this is serious business. The lights are going out for free speech on the internet from prisonplanet.com. Another report Congressman Ron Paul says he's suspicious of BP U.S. government response to spill. Very important information. That is all coming up. That's not going to save the world in and of itself, but your act of resistance and your act of caring, that will awaken the sleeping giant that is America. Continue.
I want to tell you something, Alex. You would not believe how positive the response was. A lot of people are awake, Alex. This is working. You would not believe. I couldn't call it anything less than remarkable. People were thanking us for being out there, handing out the Bill of Rights. I printed in triplicate 30 of your movies and was passing them out with a copy of the Bill of Rights. And the little pamphlet that we had also says that we feel that being at 4th of July, that we think it's our civic duty to pass out the Bill of Rights in a related video.
That's what the 4th is about. It's not about hamburgers and beer, as much fun as that is, and I did that. And it's not about fireworks and going out to the lake or whatever. We're celebrating our liberties, but we're losing our liberties. The 4th is about that Bill of Rights. It is about that Constitution. And look, it's not perfect, but it's under attack by the globalists because it is like holy water to a vampire, and that's why they want to eradicate it. Tim, I said I got to move quick, real fast.
Okay. We brought our video equipment with us, and we really only got one person that would really allow us to videotape them accepting the Bill of Rights and the video, and somehow my video got screwed up. Anyway.
Well, you should have just videoed it. Tim, I got to jump. Good job. I appreciate it. I mean, look, it's a public place. There's no perception of privacy. You can just, the key is walk around and just do what you want. Okay? And then if somebody has a problem, just say, yeah, don't worry, pal, home movie. Okay? But good job, Tim. Keep it up. Very exciting. And there are millions of Tims out there making copies of the Obama Deception, Fall the Republic, Truth Rising, Camp FEMA, The Money Man, all the, not just my films, other films, getting them out to people. It's so exciting. Joe in Chicago. Joe, you're on the air.
Yes, Alex. From last Thursday, there was a public communique issued by the Foreign and Colonial Office, King Charles Street, London. It had to do with Great Britain expanding its influence in the world. It was given by the Secretary of State, William Hague. He's headed in the Grand Locarno Room. He said that they're going to expand their influence in the United States with an ambitious foreign policy, maximal influence in the world, so that they can, in effect, recolonize. And they also said that they're going to spread the English language in China, Brazil, and culture.
Well, let me stop you for just a minute. Specifically, what are you talking about? Who did what?
The British Secretary of State, William Hague.
Yeah, he was saying he was at a meeting where?
No, he issued a public like declaration of imperialism, how they're going to re-imperialize. This was in the Financial Times Deutschland. The
German Financial Times?
Yes.
Okay, well, send me the article. Send it to showtips@Infowars.com. I mean, it is the British Empire model that's running the globe, not the British people themselves. They've just paid for it, and so that's interesting information. Let's try to run through some of the phone calls quickly here now. Let's talk to Bobby Lee in Texas quickly. Bobby Lee, go ahead.
Hi, Alex. State of Arizona, they could put an end to the persecution, threats, and intimidation by the Obama administration. That lady over there, she's got more cojones than 80% of the men in this country. All she has to do is get her representatives from her state and the adjoining border states to file impeachment charges against Obama for treason, and those people who don't want to go along with it, you have a perfect example of who you want to kick out and throw out of office, because it would not only bring to light to the rest of the people of the country. I speak to a lot of people. I tell them what's going on the border, and they don't believe it. The news media has blacked it all out. This would bring it all out in the open, and it would also give an indication of those particular representatives who don't give a dang about our country and want to see it go down the tubes, and you get rid of all of them.
No, it's a good point. In fact, I'm going to shoot a YouTube video today as an emergency release just dealing with the treason issue of his impending executive order and his lawsuit to try to block Arizona from protecting itself. I mean, Arizona, 80 to 100 miles in, a third of the state, many areas are now off limits to the citizens. I mean, Mexico is a failed state. This isn't a game. I mean, for all these trendies and fake liberals and people out there, Mexico controls its borders. Every other nation does, especially when you're bordering a collapsing third world country that's very nationalistic and very anti-America because it's lost wars with this country. Okay? I mean, that's just a fact. The facts are the facts, and we've got to defend ourselves. But we've got this treacherous federal government that's globalist, and it wants global government, and it wants to bankrupt the country because then we collapse under federal control. It is treason.